Oh my gosh, it has been a hot minute since I have gone live here on Instagram. I think the last time was back in July 2021 before I went on my epically long hiatus from Instagram. So it's really good to be back here with you. So if you're here with me live, say hello, say hi, drop me a wave, let me know that you're here, and let's get into this conversation together, because I always really enjoy whether you're here live or whether you're watching this on a replay, and you're a replay hero, as Lucy Sheridan likes to refer to us. It's always wonderful for us to be in conversation here together. That's what this community is all about, right? So I want to share with you something that is really helpful for me when it comes to not feeling like I want to show up for my dreams, but I want to hear from you as well. Like, what do you do? What insights, what tips, what strategies, what methods do you have? Because I want to learn. I always want to be growing here just as much as you do. So do share with me what's resonating with you, but also what you feel really works. And of course, questions are always wonderful and welcomed as well. So thank you so much for being here with me, as I said, live or on the replay. And I want to share with you something that happens a lot, not just to me, but to people I know, to my clients, when we're working hard towards our dreams and what's important to us. Sometimes life does what life is going to do, which is it happens, and it's not always the most conducive thing to us trying to achieve our dreams. Sometimes it feels like, oh, that's really getting in the way, or just sometimes we just don't feel like showing up for whatever reason. Maybe we're tired, maybe we've had a bad day, maybe just something's dropped down our to-do list. So what do we do in those situations? What do we do in those situations where something is really important to us, but we're not feeling it. We're not feeling it that day. Now that at that point, it's not always the best time to make a decision, right? That's why, one of the things that we will be covering in my upcoming group coaching program, Activate 2022, is how can we make the plans, how can we make the decisions in advance, so that we don't have to rely on that almost sort of lower state of being to try and make a decision for what's right to us. So we want to plan in advance. But even with the best laid plans, even then, when we know what we've got to do, even then we may not feel like showing up. And I want to share with you something that felt like an absolute game changer for me when I heard it. And it really made a difference. Hey Hannah, I can see you've joined us. So I want to share with you something that really changed things for me. And it's from a beautiful dancer called Rukmini, who I can't remember her full name, but I follow her here on Instagram, and she was sharing. She's a beautiful dancer. She's South Asian Bharatanatyam dancer, and I will make sure I share in the comments because she's just so beautiful. But she shared something that her Guruji, so her teacher, shared with her when she was first training. And as a dancer, you show up day in, day out for your art, for your practice, to become better, to further yourself. And there's times where you don't want to show up because your muscles are aching, you've practiced non-stop the day before, but you want to become a better dancer. So what do you do in those moments? Well, her guru said to her, her teacher said to her, do just this one thing. When you can't give your all, give 20%. Give 20%. So give your 100%, 20%. So what does that mean, right? What does that mean to give our 100%, 20%? So this is something that I learned when I was learning how to dance. Hey Isuru, hey Ben, hey Anikage, hey Shijast, I hope you're all nice. Let me know that in the comments how you are, where you are, what you're doing, and let me know as well your strategies for what you do when you don't feel like showing up for your dream. So here I am today sharing what I like to do, what really, really helps me. But I want to tap into the hive mind of this community here. So please share with me, what do you do when you don't feel like showing up for your dream? When you know it's really, really important, but perhaps you're having a bad day, perhaps life does what life does and it happens and it feels like it's getting in the way. Tell me, what do you do in those instances? I really, really want to know. I really want to learn. But today I'm going to share with you what I've tried practicing has really, really helped me, which is this philosophy of give your 100%, 20%. So as I was saying, when I was learning how to dance with my teacher, there was this concept that we learned that when you are preparing to perform a piece, you can't go 100% full out every time because you're going to tire yourself out. When it comes to performance time, you're going to be absolutely knackered and you won't be able to do it full out. So we learned this staggered process of, okay, right, give me 20%. So you really dial down the performance, you really dial it right down. You know, maybe you just mark it out a bit. Maybe instead of being like bang, 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 you have like, you put your hand there, you place your hand there to me for a moment. Can you just let me know that you can hear me in the comments? But instead of like going full out, if you had to do a right, left, you would just place one hand to the right and place one hand to the left, just to signal that that's where you need to be. It's a process called marking out, right? So once you've done your 25%, you then ramp it up to 50%. And you go all out, right? You go all out at 50%, but you're still not going at your peak top performance because you're conserving that energy. And then you go up to 75%. So you really start to learn what it feels like to not go all out, which is really actually very, very useful, a very, very important process to do. And I definitely recommend, whether you are a dancer, whether you do some kind of workout, it's really something worthwhile practicing, because when you do have these situations then that come up where you kind of don't feel like showing up, but you know it's important and you need to give your 100%, 20%, you then kind of know what 20% feels like. Now I see some comments have popped up, so I just want to dip into them for a moment. So Isuru says, I'm reminded of a Buddhist phrase, don't give negativity a chance to arise. And I just move like a zombie. Next thing I know, I'm there doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes, absolutely, right? I love that, move like a zombie. You just show up. You're like, I don't know if I have it in me, but I'm going to do it. And if it turns into a zombie-like performance or whatever it may be, you're still there, right? It's like yoga with Adrian, who I'm doing her 30-day practice at the moment. And she says that sometimes the hardest part is getting to the mat. And it's so true, right? So true. Sometimes just showing up to the mat is the hardest part. But then once you move one foot in front of the other and one arm in front of the other, you're doing it. And that's the most important part. So thank you, Isuru, for sharing that. And then Hannah of High Communications, if you're not following her, please do. Her content is absolutely bang on point. I love it so much. And she's saying, I was just doing a dance workout on Apple Fitness and they say, get out of your head and live your life. And I loved that. That's really beautiful. I mean, yeah, this is what dance is about, right? And I'm going to share something about this in a couple of days' time, right? That it's not about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like. If it feels good, if it feels fun, if it feels like you are expressing yourself, no matter what that expression may be, like, just focus on that. You know, the moves, the perfect, if there is such a thing as a perfect move, which I don't think there is, but those moves will come later with time. But the main thing is that you are there, you're showing up, you're enjoying it, and you're engaging with it. And that in itself is the most powerful gift of that whole practice. So I'm really glad you did that. Isiri says, like, shut down the critical mind. Exactly. That's the thing. It's not always easy, I think, to shut down the critical mind. It's one of those things that's easier said than done, is it? Like, I'm going to stop feeling like this. I'm going to switch that off. But for the fact is, if it's there, if that voice is there, if that conversation, if that dialogue is there, it's there. And sometimes we just have to acknowledge it. But in spite of it, we still have to continue. So a bit like what Hannah was just saying, like, get out of your head and live your life. Well, yeah, it's okay. Well, I recognize, acknowledge that voice is there, but I'm going to carry on regardless. And I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if the person next to me, if I'm at a class or whatever it is looks like they're doing it all perfectly. But how does it feel to me? How do I want to show up to this? So this is really, really, really important. And Han says, "Oh, thank you. That made me smile." I'm glad. Your content always makes me smile, so I'm glad that I was able to make you smile as well. So yeah, this is the thing. Give 100%. Give your 100%, 20%. So for me, a couple of days ago, with the yoga practice that I'm doing right now, gosh, I one day just really felt so knackered, and I just thought, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But I committed in advance. So what I was saying earlier, if you didn't catch that bit, is we don't want to make our decisions when we're feeling low. We want to, as much as is possible, really plan in advance. We want to make those decisions when we're feeling in a stronger, more sort of uplifted place of like, how are we going to show up this week or this month or this quarter, whatever it may be. We want to plan those decisions in advance, so we don't give ourselves decision fatigue in the moment of trying to have to make a strong decision when the pressure is being applied, whether the pressure is we're feeling tired, whether the pressure is that you're being really pushed at work with deadlines and things like that. That's not the time for us to make a really strong decision. The time to make the strong decision is in advance, so that when that pressure is being applied, we know what we have to do. But then that's when the give your 100%, 20% shows up, because when that pressure is being applied, we still have those variables to contend with, right? As I said, we may be feeling tired. So as with my yoga practice the other day, I knew the decision had already been made on the 1st, or way before the 1st of January, that I am going to complete this 30-day yoga challenge live every day. And I was connected to why that was so important for me. So I'm no longer relying on my motivation, right? I'm ready to show up for it. But then on that day where I got really tired, lots of things were happening, and it was edging towards the end of the day, I was like, okay, fine. How long is this practice? I see that it's 20 minutes. When can I fit it in? Okay, I can actually only fit it in right before I go to bed. I'm happy to do that. It's going to be hard, but I'm happy to do that. And then when I got to the mat, and it was, creeping towards 11 o'clock, and I'd also made this commitment to be in bed by 11 o'clock most nights this week. I knew that, okay, well, I'm feeling really tired, and this as I'm going through this practice, it's feeling quite hard as well. It's feeling quite intense. So what I chose to do in that moment is give my 100%, 20%. Right? Or rather, do you know what? I've just realised I've just been saying it the wrong way around this whole time. I apologise for that. Give your 20%, 100%. If you're thinking, what is she talking about? How can I... Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Correction time. Pause there for a moment. Give your 20%, 100%. That is exactly what I wanted to say. So sorry about that. So let's have a little rewind there. That makes more sense, right? If we can only operate at 20% capacity or performance, right? we're going to give that 20% our all. We're going to give it our absolute everything we can, right? So that was what I had to do that evening. Give my yoga practice, which I felt I could only operate at 25% capacity, I had to give it my 100%, right? And that meant I still showed up. It meant I still did the practice. Yeah, it felt a bit clunky, it felt hard, it felt tiring, but do you know what? It felt damn good because I was there on the mat. I was there fulfilling this commitment that I made to myself in advance. I was there doing it, and that made it feel sweet as, right? It made it feel really, really, really sweet. And that meant the next day, after a good night's sleep, earlier in the day when I could fit in, then I could show up to the practice and I could give it my all in that moment. But for that night before, I gave my 20%, 100%. Right? So let me know if that resonates with you. Do you get what, now that I'm saying it correctly, do you get what I mean by giving your 20%, 100%? And is that something that you could apply in your life as well, or in something that feels important to you right now, whether that is your, well, we've got Hannah here, right? So if we're talking about showing up to your social media or marketing plan, right? There may be some days where you feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, or I don't feel like doing it, I don't feel like going live, or I don't feel like posting. But if you have made those decisions in advance, you don't have to make them right there, right then. But also, how can you give that 20% capacity 100%? If it's your workout, if it's you're building your business, whether it's going out on a date, because you want to work on your dating life, whatever it is, this is really, really key thing to remember here, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you today. When you don't feel like showing up for your dream, even though you know it's really, really, really important for you that you do, and it's a priority for you, as I said, sometimes life just does what life does, and it's going to happen, and it's going to fling lots of things into your day. It's going to apply the pressure. Well, what do you do in those situations? Well, one of the things that you can do is I can't go all out today. That's just not possible for me. But that 20% that I can show up, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give that my 100%. And that's been an absolute game changer for me. It means I show up. I was actually having a bit of an off day yesterday work-wise, and I remember having to give myself this talk of like, no, okay, give your 20% or 50%, right? It felt more like 50% yesterday. Give your 50%, 100%. And then I started to feel things start to shift, and I felt happy that I was showing up for something that was still important for me, and I was still persevering through. So it's really, really important that we do that. And one of the reasons I'm sharing this with you is because next month I've got my brand new group coaching program. It's a 4-week group coaching program coming up called Activate 2022. Now, it is for you if you feel like this is the year that you want to make a particular dream, something that's been a priority for you, but you haven't been able to give it the airtime that it's needed. This is your opportunity to bring that into this beautiful group where we will be working to really start to bring that dream to life this year. It's really, really important to you and for me to help you do that. So Activate 2022, it starts on the 8th of February. So it gives us a good few weeks still to just sink into the start of this new year. And then we really hit the ground running over 4 weeks together. We will be working to extract your beautiful dream. So this is about going way beyond those kind of like sterile goal setting exercises, those resolutions that don't have a tendency to work. We're going to really sink into your dream in a way that I'm pretty sure you haven't done before. It's a really, really beautiful process. And using that, we will then start to do some of what we've explored here today, where we will start to extract, well, what's the plan I need to make in advance to make sure that I know how to show up day in, day out over this year, so that this dream that I have has the opportunity to finally start to come to life. Now, we'll be doing this on Zoom. It'll be an online group coaching program, but it will not be just me talking at you. It's going to be really interactive. It's going to have quite a workshop-y feel and vibe to it. So it's not just going to be me talking at you. We'll really be working through this together. And I'm not just going to be your coach on this program. I'm also going to be your teammate, because this is something that I want for myself as well. So we will very much be breathing our dreams into life together. Anything that I ask of you, I will be asking of myself as well. So if you want to be on my team and you want me to be on yours, I would absolutely love to. So please head over to the link that I'm going to include in the comments of this live. It will take you straight to the Activate 2022 page where you can sign up today, and we kick off on the 8th of February. If you have questions about it, then drop me a DM. Let me know what you'd like to know, if we can find out if it's the right fit for you and the right time for you to do a program like this as well. And I would absolutely love to go on this journey with you. It's going to be so beautiful. There's going to be so much momentum, but it's going to be in a way that feels sustainable, that feels fun and uplifting. It's not going to be that real slog that sometimes we can associate to New Year's resolutions or the start of a new year. So join me. I want to be on your team, and I want you to be on my team as well. So come along for Activate 2022. And as I said, click on the link in the comments. You can go straight through to the payment page. There are 3 payment plans available there, and you can join from as little as £99 right there, and I think that equates to like $134 or something like that. So really accessible. I've tried to make it really accessible for all of us. So I want to see you there. I want to be on your team. Let's activate your year together. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Isuru. Thank you, Onikage. Hello, Mehul. You've just joined in there right under the wire. This replay will be available shortly. So do stick with me. Do give that a watch. And I'm going to go live on Wednesday as well. We're going to talk about how to avoid constricting your dreams too much as well. So if you want to join me for that conversation, watch out. I'll post in a couple of days what time I'll be going live there as well. Thank you so much. Big love to you, and I will see you very soon.